it spells crap, and I purposely arranged these words to spell crap because it was funnier. What's up? My name is Randall. I'm an artist from Orlando, Florida. Let's talk about it. Creativity, resilience, authenticity, and passion. These are the 4 pillars and what I use as kind of the North Star of my business and my creative journey. And like I said, I created these 4 pillars just so that everything I do is in alignment. And first, there's creativity. I mean, that's why we're here, right?
That's why I'm here.
Creativity is the whole purpose. Creativity doesn't mean, yeah, I'm good at art. Creativity is for everyone. Creativity is problem solving. Creativity is making something out of nothing. Creativity is doing what you do best. For me, that's painting robots and pumpkin-headed guys and making a fart coloring book and putting that together in a universe that oddly makes sense. Resilience. Let's be honest. This is hard. This shit isn't for everybody. It's a rough life. It's like, even to the point where I've said in another video, nobody says to the plumber, when are you going to get a real job? Right? There's a weird factor about being an artist where it's like, in some people's eyes, it's like a noble thing to be like, oh, you're an artist. But like, there's the other people who are like, well, how do you expect to live? How do you expect to make money? And a lot of times when you're selling something that realistically people don't need. They'll forego buying your art, doing your art thing, even, buying a shitty piece of art at TJ Maxx or whatever before they buy a painting from a real artist that they've met. You can be overwhelmed and tired and wondering if this is ever going to work out. Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? It takes a mental toll. You have to be committed. You have to be resilient. That's where the word is the word. You can make a product or a cool painting as something that you think is great. This is going to be awesome. And it's like crickets. The world just shrugs. And then you spend your nights lying in bed wondering, am I doing the right thing? And then you have to do the right thing because this is your calling. This is your passion, and you can't turn away from that. You have to be resilient. You have to be tough. And that's why it's important to know. It's important to mark that. It's important to have that as a pillar. To know that the journey you're getting into is going to be a tough road, or everybody would do it. Authenticity, you can't fake it. People will smell it. Somebody will be like, put your boots on.
Hey, Elton, Cal Pete, don't step in the bullshit.
This is a copy and paste type world, right? You see something that somebody does great, even if it's just content. Someone does something cool, and everybody else is going to do it. Follow the trends. Follow this, right? Not everyone's authentically them. It's easy to fake it on the internet. It's easy for me to sit here and give you advice as I'm struggling. I'm telling you I'm struggling. I'm trying to do something that's, in my eyes, is monumental. I'm trying to sell art. I'm trying to create an immersive experience. I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm tired of working for a company where I'm just a cog in the machine. And the authenticity behind that. If I sat here and just told you everything was great, rainbows and sunshine and all this bullshit, you would be able to see that. You would see through the bullshit. You would see through it. You would see through the lies. You have to be authentic. You have to sell your art. You have to sell yourself. You have to make art that you feel, right? If you're making a bunch of art just because it sells, there's going to be a resentment behind it. You're not going to do your best work. Stay true to yourself. Be authentic to you. That's the key. These pillars are for you. You're being authentic to yourself because it's true to yourself, and other people will feel that. And passion. Passion isn't what keeps you excited. Passion is what keeps you going when it's hard. Passion keeps you going when you feel alone. When you feel like you're doing everything you possibly can to chase your dream, and whether it's real, perceived, you feel like you're in the boat rowing by yourself. You're Sisyphus pushing the boulder uphill by yourself. because no matter what it is, for most of us creative people, we're never going to be happy with what we're doing. We're always going to feel like we can do better. We're always going to have big dreams. And we're always going to feel like we're letting ourselves down if we're not chasing those big dreams. The passion is the fuel. The passion is what keeps you going. The passion is what, makes the late nights, the early mornings, the painting, the making content, everything you need to do as an artist and a business owner and a creative person. 72 changes, or that the design you made is the right design, but the guy who's paying you tells you to change it. Those tough days, the passion is what keeps you going. This is my mission. This isn't a job. And the passion fuels the mission. Creative revolution, creative rebellion. It's like taking something that only exists in my brain and making it real so someone can see it, someone can feel it, someone can touch it. That's what it is. And when you take all 4 of these pillars, put it together, it spells the word crap because it's funny. Because crap is funnier than APCR. It's these things, you can look back onto. You can use these to build you up. And I think like when we decide that we're going to step out on our own, and we're going to create our own business, we're going to create our own, whatever it is, we're going on our own journey, having pillars to remind you, having a mission statement, having a why. These things are for you, but that way you can look back on them. You can be like, this is why I'm doing it. You have a really rough day and you look back and you think about, like right now, like full honesty, like it's been a rough week. Sometimes it's just a lot. Trying to do a lot. And the other day I was thinking about it. I was thinking about, sometimes you just need to take a step back and see how hard you're working. Even if no one else can see it. And I'm not saying that's the case for me, but like, even if no one else sees how hard you're working and you see it every day, sometimes you have to look back on your why, your mission statement, your pillars, like these things that like you build into your brand that aren't bullshit. They're real. And they're real for a reason. They're real because you feel it. They're real because they keep you motivated. So yeah, that's my crap. Creativity, resilience, authenticity, and passion. And if you have your pillars, you're doing okay. You're building something. You're headed somewhere. You know where you stand. Sometimes I just feel like I'm talking into a camera to like the old past Randall who just was a dreamer, now to old gray beard Randall who's still a dreamer. But like it resonates with some of you guys, and that's awesome. And I love the comments. I love when you guys, can feel what I'm talking about. Because then we know we're not alone, right? We're not alone. And another thing that my nephews watch my videos, so Harrison and Hudson, what's up? So get out there. Go. Create.